It's I Don't Give a Fuck. For sure, this is the song that everybody is waiting, all the time, and because it's really straightforward with the lyrics, it's really straightforward with the music, and the chorus is really straightforward. The audience can immediately feel it and can scream next to us.
This is Rob Ruckus.
Hey, this is Kate Clover.
Hey guys, it's Nick Collins here from The Effect and Better Strangers.
Hi, my name is Madeline Rose.
Hey, it's Ben McKelvey.
It's Tim Howard here from Mike and the Mechanics.
Hello, I'm Amanda Lehman.
I'm Billy Harvey.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Casey Sampson from the band Twist Stop.
Hey, it's Tony from Fastball.
Hello, everybody. My name is Isaiah Mitchell.
Hey guys, it's Matt here from the White Lakes.
You're listening to Almost Famous Magazine.
Come join us for this interview. Check it out, Almost Famous Magazine.
Sorry.
No, that is a perfect way to start the hang. Welcome back, everyone. Love that music, and I can't wait to explore your music today. Thanks for coming and joining us today on the hang right here on Almost Famous Magazine. Thanks to everyone who's subscribed. You know what to do. Ring the bell, share our channel, sharing the joy that we get from sharing musicians' stories with you and immortalizing who they are and how they became musicians. Today is no different. I'm joined by Lilith Clockwork today. She's in a band called Clockwork Psycho. Sorry, Clockwork Psycho, not Psycho Clockwork, but they perform Psychobilly music. And she is the founder and bass player. Lily, welcome to the hang.
Hi, cheers, Scott. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely.
And hi to everyone from Slovenia.
Now, I'm going to hand you an award right now. We've done a number of these overseas. You get the award for being the furthest from Dallas, Texas, where I'm recording today. So congratulations. Our very first guest from Slovenia. We always start out because I think it's important to get an understanding of who you are musically, right? So we kind of start out with this kind of standard question. What came first? Did you find music or did music find you? And what's your story?
So basically I started with music when I was like 6-7 years old. I started in music school. I played flute for 9 years. I also played piano in music school for a couple of years and saxophone. And when I was in 7th grade, I wanted to play in a punk band, let's say primary school punk band. And my father bought me my first E-bass and my first amp, which I still have. It's Fender Precision 78. And I played in that punk band for a couple of years. And then I played in some other hardcore punk bands, bass guitar. And then in 2011, 2010, I got the idea that the upright bass might be a cool instrument to play. And at the beginning, it was quite challenging, to fretless and the triplets and everything around it. But when you get to, let's say, get more familiar with it, it's the best instrument you can ever play.
Wow. I mean, I've seen a lot of rockabilly bands with upright bass, but I don't think I've ever seen a punk band with upright bass. What does that add to the texture of the music going down that path with an upright as opposed to using a regular bass guitar?
So I think it's you can add, you can play a little bit more with the tempo, with let's say triplets and quads and so on. Then it's this sound that you can get from the slapping. So this click slap, which you can, you need to, of course, to have the preamp and pickups and so on to get this sound out. But I think it just adds a little bit of rock and roll to the punk. And it just, while playing, it really takes the full of you. So it's of course, also due to the size of the instrument and the way that you have to play it. But I think it just adds this a little bit of the rock and roll to it, which I find it interesting and cool.
Yeah, no, it definitely sounds it. Let's start with was Clockwork Psycho your first band? What have you been doing up to that? And then how did you get that idea of making that transformation? Because it's pretty dynamic to wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to stop with this instrument. I'm going to start and do something new with this one. What was that process like?
So from the punk bands and punk music. So here also in Ljubljana, there's let's say a group of people who are, we were hanging around, we were going to the concerts. There's one also big or famous neo-rockabilly band from Slovenia called 8 Bomb. So we are all friends hanging around together. Also, my husband is a lead vocal and rhythm guitarist from 8 Bomb. Now he's also a rhythm guitarist in Clockwork Psycho. Basically, I get to know the bands like, the Meteors, Dementor Go, and so on. And they still have, the Meteors, not currently, but Dementor Go and so on. They have the upright bass in, and it's really, let's say, the music that I immediately fell in love. And we were trio, Clockwork Psycho. And we just started to play our own version of, punk and roll or whatever you can call it. We also heard about the genre. It's called Punkabilly. So maybe, we are close to that.
Close to that. Well, I definitely think that if you're a fan of punk or rockabilly, you're going to like Clockwork Psycho's music. I think absolutely. Big punk fan here. So I may be wearing a prog rock band shirt today, but I'm a big punk fan as well, as everyone who watches knows. And you've been recording for a little while. Now you've got what, one EP out, is it?
We have three full albums and one EP. Yeah. So all the albums were basically released. The first album was released by Nervous and Fury Records. So in England, and the second and third album as well at Diablo Records in England, and the EP was basically released here in Slovenia, but is still available on all digital platforms and players. So.
Well, and what we're going to make sure of is that when we finish this, and I put this in the description, you're going to give me all the links because I want people to go out and buy your music. So for sure, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. I'm curious because I was reading in some information. Did you have a name issue with the band? Was there something about a Mexican beer, light beer? What's that story? I want to understand it because I wasn't quite sure when I was doing my research, but I think it was
No, it was not an issue with the band. It was band name or whatever. It was just that when Corona started, we just hit the road. So we had a tour planned, Austria, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, England. And basically every gig that we played was the last gig allowed in this country. So we were basically closing the countries around Europe with Corona. And unfortunately, then really all the hell broke loose. So before we went to England, unfortunately, we decided to turn around to go back home because then were already the time that we're closing the borders. And we said, going back home, we would need to pass a couple of borders in order to go from England to Slovenia. And God forbid, one would get a fever or whatever, then we would be in some sort of, quarantine somewhere stuck. I mean, it was quite unpredictable back in 2020. So that's why, but it was really, really interesting. And that will be something that we will remember forever.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, now I understand. Coronavirus, Corona the beer. I get it. So since the corona lockdown, right? The coronavirus lockdown. Have you had a chance to get back out on the road?
Yeah, so we played couple of let's say bigger events in Germany, and also maybe I would just stress out we played Rebellion Punk Festival in Blackpool twice in a row. So the first time was 23 and then also 24, so it's last year now already, and hoping to go back there because this last into 24 when we played, it was really busy venue, so they basically needed to shut down the doors so to limit the entrance, and yeah, it seems that punks and skins and audience at Blackpool, they really enjoy also some punkabilly. So yeah, hopefully there will be us coming back and also some other psycho punk punkabilly bands to go back. We also played Pineda de Mar. Now it was basically it's not Pineda anymore. It's Santa Susana. So the biggest psychobilly meeting in Spain. This is really wonderful place for the psychobilly music. 1 week of psycho punkabilly bands, full day. So it's really the family getting together. We all know each other. So it's really awesome place and awesome festival. And now we are going back to Bedlam Breakout Festival in March. So this is in UK, Northampton. And we will play in April Cruisers Ladies Festival in Wuppertal in Germany, which is basically all the 2 days festival. And in every band, it's mandatory to have at least one lady in a band. And all the entrance and the financials that will be collected over this festival will go for the women support groups.
That's
so
fantastic. We actually had a guest on the Hang Early on who is from Wuppertal. Believe it or not. Definitely not a town you mention every day of the week. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, it's quite let's say meaningful town or let's say city in Germany with a lot of great musicians and a lot of supporters of rock and roll, punk, punkabilly, ska, oi, and so on. So it's a lot of musicians.
I love hearing that. I've we covered punk rock bowling. I don't know if you've heard of that festival in Las Vegas last year. Hoping to do that again this year, coming up in May. And the environment, I personally think of any festival, punk rock festivals have the greatest audience. It's just, you can feel the enthusiasm, the love, the kindness. It's just an amazing experience. So I'm glad to hear that holds true overseas as well.
Yeah, it is for sure. I mean, the biggest festival I've, attended was for sure Rebellion in Blackpool, and it's just amazing. Yeah, all the people are so, friendly, and you just get to know so many new friends and meet old friends, and it's just, I've just seen, as you mentioned, all the, positivity and love and happiness, and really it's just, amazing places and awesome music out there that we should follow.
Yeah. Now, tell me a little bit about the other members of Clockwork Psycho.
Yeah, so
members of the band.
We started, as I mentioned, as a trio, but the first drummer left the band quite early. So after the first album was recorded by the first drummer. Then he decided to leave the band, and then. But the guitar player, so Eržen, he was in a band till I think it was 2018 or so, 19. And then he became a father. Now he has 2 kids. So that was the time that he decided to, put the pause on the bands or touring and so on career. And since then we have, so since 2000, I don't know, since 14 or so, we have Marko Valant as a drummer. He drums in several other bands as well, from famous Slovenian, I think also worldwide surf band called Beach Boys. Not Beach, but it's Beach Boys. And then also in a punk band, Tsarina, and I don't know, some other bands, I assume, as well. And then we have a lead guitarist, Urban, who plays also in orchestra, the mandolin, and in some other bands. So really, really great guitarists. And we have the rhythm guitar player, Jure Lenarčić, who, as I mentioned before as well, is also the singer and the rhythm guitarist in neo-rockabilly band from Slovenia, 8 Bomb. And they also have some other musical projects more in the rockabilly style. So yeah, these are the members. And I'm playing the upright bass and singing more or less. So we are trying to divide also the vocals. So we try to have it, to keep it as interesting as possible, because I believe also with, other singing, let's say, or just the color of the voice, or the singing attitude, or the singing approach, it makes the album and the songs more diverse, more interesting. So in Clockwork Psycho, couple of songs are, so the drummer is singing, couple of songs the rhythm guitarist is singing, and we are really all very busy with the backing vocals all the time. So we are trying to make it as interesting as possible.
Tell me a little bit about the writing process. Is this a band where one person handles the writing, or is it a collaborative effort? Who brings what to the band from the creative standpoint?
So more or less it's collaborative effort. So it depends. For one song, somebody comes up with the lyrics. For another song, somebody else comes up with the lyrics. And then, maybe a day, the guitar player comes with a line. Okay, I tried this, it sounds good. And then we are working around it. So it's the end is always the entire band, let's say, input is taken into consideration for the final result.
That's fantastic. When it comes to influences of the band, right? Because every musician kind of takes from somewhere, right? Who are some of the influences that you all have in your own creative process, right? Who are musicians that you really enjoy, that you're like, I like a little bit of what they do over there, I'm gonna take that and kind of make it my own? Who are some of those?
Well, this is really, really difficult to say, because it's so many different music genres that we all kind of listen and follow, from classic to metal, punk, let's say this folk songs. So it's really, really diverse, and I think in every genre you can, if you just have the open mind and you just listen, I don't know, maybe the weekly discovery on Spotify or whatever, you can always find songs that are really, really cool, regardless of the genre. And it goes for all of us. So it's really, very, very diverse from the music side, which you can also maybe hear in some songs, that we are adding, from ska. We had, the folk song, which is converted into rock and roll and so on. So it's I think the limitation is the worst that you can do with music.
Yeah, no, I think when you define yourself singularly, right? You only listen, input is important, but input across the board is really important, so that you can take things to be, little pieces here and there and put them together. If I have never heard your music before, as a brand new listener, right? And we hope that some people watching today are going to go out and start listening to you. What are a few, give me one album that you think would be the one to start with, or a few specific songs that you think really define the band, that you think will bring someone in, and why?
Well, I think my favorite album is The Hated and the last EP. I think these are, maybe just because they are the latest and, with the evolving. But yeah, I think now with the EP, this is the first, let's say, music released that there are two guitarists. So the sound is fuller. And yeah, I think I would recommend those two for sure.
Okay. Any specific songs that you think really kind of define the band? Like, do you have one song that you always include in a set list, or you think that is a fan favorite?
I mean, it's for sure it's always in the set list and it's a fan favorite. However, maybe it's not my favorite. It's I Don't Give a Fuck. For sure, this is the song that everybody is waiting, all the time, and because it's really straightforward with the lyrics, it's really straightforward with the music, and the chorus is really straightforward. That the audience can immediately feel it and can scream next to us. And I think now from the EP, it's most likely. So I guess there are 2 or 3 songs, but the 2 that I can now see the audience that are really enjoying. One is Marusha, for sure. So it's the folk song converted to ska. And the second one is Fuck Shit song, which again, the chorus is, fuck, 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 shit, 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 shit. And the audience is, of course, excited that they can immediately sing along, and they do.
So I get, even though we're long distance from one another, I get a sense of energy from you regarding these songs. What if I was coming to a show, if you were coming to a town near me, right, and performing, what are some of the things that I could expect during a show? Like what do you all do as a band to make it memorable and an experience that I'm going to walk away from, that I tell other people about the band?
So what we always hear after the show, that it's really energetic. So it's power to the max. Usually I'm not really, happy about it, because my face after 2 songs I look like a panda or whatever. It's, the makeup is no longer on my face. So I think it's really the energy that we put in, the fun that we have on stage, giving the smiley faces to the audience, and of course what we always aim to do, that despite of having the lively gig, performing, jumping around, having fun, still doing our best to play as tight as we can. So that the live gig should be also the high quality performance, not just the fun for all of us.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you mentioned some upcoming gigs. Are there any more releases coming in 2025? Do you have any more music in the works that you're going to release either on streaming or for sale?
Yeah, we are working on new songs, but however, also now we started a new project or new band, which is basically so it's me again and Jure, so the rhythm guitarist, and then Marko Čule, known from a famous Slovenian band Sausages, so he will play lead guitar. He played with us at the Rebellion Festival in 2024, so he's already familiar also with the Clockwork Psycho songs. And then a drummer from the band called Metropolis, also Čule plays in Metropolis. And we will add also a bass guitar. So this will be something, I think, also maybe not as typical or standard that the audience can see. And I think it will be interesting to play around with the E-bass lines next to the upright bass lines. So yeah, I'm really expecting a lot from it, and we are already now working on some material which hopefully will be released before summer.
Excellent. Definitely something to look forward to. Everyone dreams of things in their life, right? And I always ask, because I'm curious, if you, Lilith, had a chance to get in a studio with another musician, right? Another artist, and spend one day creating together, who might that person be and why?
Limi.
Now, I'm going to ask you why. It's going to be a little bit challenging to get him to show up, but why did you choose Lemmy?
Well, I think he's just a king of rock and roll. Yeah.
Yeah, he's certainly an interesting character for sure.
Yeah, no, I think he was just I think the Motorhead in general, it's a lot of source when you listen to nowadays music that is somehow linked to the rock and roll. I think the Motorhead are just giving this power and the sense and the beat and the drive and the melodies, and it's just combining in something that I really admire and appreciate it. And
Now, when you're not performing your own music and you like to just relax and hang out, what are some of the either styles or artists that you enjoy listening to?
Classical music. I really enjoy classical music.
So that's where you start.
Like Mozart and this Baroque style. But yeah, this is something that I really enjoy. But otherwise, I'm also, let's say, some chansons. In Slovenia, we have a very famous singer, which basically was writing stories for kids. But she recorded one amazing album, Nočni šansoni. Her name is Svetlana Makarovic, an elderly lady now. And I'm really very, very often I'm putting the LP on and just listen to these songs.
Are you a big record collector?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, I know a big record collector, so I'm far away from those. But I do enjoy listening to the LPs, and especially when we go to the festivals. From my side, this is the merch that I tend to buy. I have gazillion of t-shirts already, so this is something, unless I really find a design that I adore. Otherwise, LPs are something that I'm collecting at the festivals, and in this way also supporting the bands that I enjoyed.
Absolutely, I think it's important. I think finding ways to support bands these days. Everybody, they stream their music, but when you get that 38-cent check from Spotify, it's not quite as rewarding as having a physical album in your hand that you bought from an artist and were able to help support them.
Yeah, true. And I think now the LPs are coming back more and more and the CDs are going out. On the other hand, I'm grateful for this, digital media, especially because now I can discover much more of new bands that maybe I would never discover otherwise. And based on this, you can then follow and maybe able to see the gig of a band that maybe you would otherwise never attend. So I think it's a good combination of.
That's absolutely one of the reasons why the Hang exists. Quite honestly, we here feel that it's so important to be sharing and amplifying the stories of bands that are out there and musicians, because it's hard to get attention these days. There's so much out there. So we totally understand that it's, we have a lot coming at us, but how do you figure out what to really spend some time with? Everyone who watches us knows that I'm a big proponent of purchasing your music. Do you have albums that if I wanted to have them shipped to the States, you can ship them here?
Yeah, we have LPs, we have CDs, we have also T-shirts and patches and all kind of stuff. I would just recommend that if anyone would be interested, send us a message via Facebook or Instagram, and then we are trying to find the best solution, for shipment. Usually the shipment can be quite expensive, on top if somebody's ordering just a CD. I don't know.
Absolutely. And we're gonna include any links that you give me so that people can support you and buy your music for sure. As we kind of round the corner here, one of the things we also enjoy doing is sharing in other music. We think it's important. Go out, purchase Clockwork Psycho's music, support them so they can continue to do amazing things, especially maybe one day come and play the States, which would be fantastic, right? So do that for sure. But we also like to talk about artists that are kind of earworms, kind of something that an artist is listening to. Maybe you have a playlist with a few artists, or you're listening to one or two albums right now that you really enjoy, or you listen to motivate yourself at the gym or whatever. Who are a few artists, whether they're regional, international, whatever, that means something to you that you would like to share with the viewers so that they could experience some of what you find great in those artists?
As mentioned, so it's really broad from the genre perspective, but let's say from psycho, punkabilly, for sure there are legends like Demented Argo and Long Tall Texans and Frenzy and so on and so on. And let's say I really, really enjoyed Gutter Demons from Canada. Unfortunately, they don't play anymore. Then there's a lot of, newer bands who are amazing. I don't know, Dukes of Tijuana, for example, now is the album that I really enjoyed. Moonshine Stalkers, then Guitar Slingers. It's just so many bands that I'm afraid that I will, that I will do the injustice to some great bands. I would need to. I'm adding the bands, I'm adding them to my favorites, and then I'm really happy when I put it on they put it on, and I just, the song comes up, which I didn't hear from some time. I just, Zip Heads, of course, Hola Ghost. So it's really so many bands. But on the other hand, of course, I always enjoy when I see, I've seen them quite some, not as many times as I would want it, but for example, Exploited, Casualties, Coxperel. So there are bands that always deliver amazing show. And The Addict, fun always. But on the other hand, also, let's say here in Slovenia and Croatia and Serbia and so on, now, for example, when we play a gig, I usually ask the booker if I can invite my currently favorite band around here, punk band called Joule. Amazing band, really fun, great friends, and just amazing music.
That's great. I love your enthusiasm for sharing that way, right? I think it's important. It's easy to have your own motivation and do your own thing, but to be able to share other people's creativity with others is important as well, because creativity shouldn't happen in a closet, right? In a box. It should happen outside and be collaborative.
I think there's so many new bands that are really brilliant. They just don't really get a chance to get out there. But there are some festivals, as I mentioned, so Psychobilly Meeting in Spain or Bedlam Breakout in England. They usually do this, either afternoon performance, and they invite younger bands to play in these afternoon sessions. And mostly, I really discovered incredible bands in these afternoon festival sessions, which then I, immediately either bought an LP or followed on Spotify or Facebook or Instagram or whatever media. And it's really good to see how some of them succeeded then afterwards, playing tours, bigger festivals, or other genre festivals as well. So it's, yeah. But I think it's really good, and we are all, tremendously grateful that such festivals and such clubs still, exist and invite unknown young bands to perform and to show what they can do. And I think this is incredibly important, because I mean, we are all aware that, you need to have important and big name headliner to bring in the people, to convince people to buy the tickets. But I would just encourage then all the ticket buyers and all the audience to go to the festivals early or to the gigs early and to see these young bands and to support them, because very often they will be positively surprised.
I'll be honest with you. I agree with that 110%. I love making sure that I'm there at a gig early, because you never know who could surprise you. I found, one of my favorite acts right now is a band from the UK called Kid Capici. I don't know if you've heard of Kid Capici.
No.
They are, I liken them to the energy of The Clash with the lyrical sensibility of Madness. And it's really high energy and a lot of fun, but they were opening for Nothing But Thieves, who I was there to photograph because I do concert photography. And now I'm like crazy for Kid Capiche, and they're playing at Punk Rock Bowling this coming spring or summer. So I'm looking forward to that. So definitely get there early. Make sure you take in new bands. It's the best way to find new music and really connect with them, because I think that when you're in that opening slot, you're in a situation where you're like, you've got a limited amount of time, you've got to bring your A game, and you've got to win over the audience.
Yeah.
So I agree with that.
Usually the young and new bands, they put even more effort to it. They really do their best for the show, and it's not rare that you can see better performances, early in the day than later at night, when maybe you have a band who's touring regularly 300 days per year, and they just take it as
I understand what you're saying for sure. Any chance, I don't know what your plans are, any chance of you guys bringing Clockwork Psycho to the United States?
Yeah, I mean, we would really want to. It just we would need to find a booker to do that with, and to have a good festival that would support all the financials that are needed to do such, either tour linked to the festival and so on, because it's not just the travels and renting the gear or the van or whatever. It's also the visa. So all that together, it can be quite costly. So, but yeah, of course, we would be extremely excited and happy if there's a booker who would bring us to US.
I am thrilled that you said that, because you never know what happens when you put it out there, when you make that ask. And I will tell you that people have been on the hang before. People have come to gigs. People have said, I saw you on the podcast. You never know who's watching. And I think that that's one of the greatest things about sitting down and getting to know an artist. You never know who might come your way from it.
Fingers crossed.
I am hoping, and we're going to do our best to get the message out there for you as well. Lilith, this has been great getting to know you. I really appreciate you making some time for me.
Likewise, Scott. Really,
great.
Very, very nice discussion.
Yes. And you know what? When this new act, this new band, please, once you've got that all together and you've got some stuff to release, let me know, because we'll have you back for sure.
Sure. And I will bring the entire band, and we'll have fun with the.
Absolutely. We always have fun when we have like 5 or 6 people on the screen at one time talking to each other. It's really a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to us getting that opportunity. Everybody watching today, this has been a joy. You're going to find all the links you need in the description. Please go out, purchase their music, support them. If you know a booker who's willing to bring them to the States, please do so. They need to come to America. Meanwhile, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back and subscribing, sharing this with your friends, hitting the bell, get our alerts. We drop every single Tuesday morning, come rain or shine. We are there for you with new artists and new music from every genre, and now literally halfway across the world. So it's been a pleasure, Lilith. Thanks so much for joining me today, and all the best.
Thank you so much, Scott. And again, cheers from Slovenia, from Clockwork Psycho, and hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.